running back and forth to the house 100 times. What is good, everybody? I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody is well. I hope your family and friends are doing okay, and keep your head up. It's your boy Boo, reppin' Planet Boo, and I'm ready to get back into some action. I don't know about you! Alright, back into the world of Animal Crossing, and you see we are back working on Monty and Simon's wonderful, lavish, ginormous rainforest. If you want to call it tropical rainforest, call it tropical rainforest, but it's a rainforest. Or just a jungle. Call it jungle, right? Jungle vibes, jungle core. But, you know, the rainforest is a jungle as well. But anyway, I'm getting beside myself. So right now, we just got finished completely bulldozing all of Raymond's old area. And now we're going to set it up for the boy Simon, so we can move him over, and him and Monty can share the jungle together. Yeah, they're gonna be two peas in a pod, living their good life together. There will be no fussing and fighting over anything in the jungle. Most monkeys are very docile and very, what's the word I want to use? Social animals. So they like to be around their species and communicating and engaging in good fellowship and all that stuff. So we're going to keep the monkeys together. And you see that I decided to take Simon, and I'm gonna drop him right here in this lower right hand quadrant, and we're gonna build him up so that he is not going to be on the ground level with Monty. He's actually going to be on the second level. So I thought it would be cool to have a dynamic of one villager on the bottom and one villager on the top. It just makes it, you know, a little bit more extra, if you want to call it that. So he knows that whenever he wants to visit his good old buddy, all he has to do is go right upstairs, baby, or right downstairs, whoever we're talking about, right? So here I'm just kind of experimenting with how I want the tail end of the elevation to look a little bit more natural versus something very square, you know what I mean? Big focus of mine doing this whole jungle project was embracing the craziness and wildness of natural and unsymmetrical structures, and it really does look a lot better. So right here, I figured, you know what, I don't want it all to be connecting, right? Why not add a little bit pizzazz to it? Because, you know, make it different. Do something that I'm not used to normally doing, thinking outside the box every once in a while. So usually I just play with things to see how they look, and through that I start to formulate an idea of exactly what I would be looking for. And we hop back over this way to just destroy more area. And as you can see, we got Simon, his house set up. And what we're going to do here is actually connect it via a bridge, is my idea. Obviously not the standard bridge, but we're going to use a custom and basically make what they like to call a land bridge. And through wonderful perspective and optical, I don't want to say optical illusion, but more of a perspective, you can't even tell that it's not a real bridge, because you're not going to see the side of the landmass that's connecting it. You're just going to see the top side, which is going to look like a bridge. So that's what's going on over there. That's what we're about to do. Just taking some of these bushes and getting them out the way. One thing you're gonna notice is that my inventory slot is gonna kind of warp from time to time, and what I mean by that is that this whole project took probably 8 to 10 hours of gameplay from the beginning to the end of me completing this jungle. So I had to cut out a lot of stuff to be able to make this video. So I took out things like running back and forth to the house 100 times to empty my item slots and things like that, running back and forth to the beach 100 times to drop flowers off to create space in my inventory, things like that. I cut the majority of that stuff out, so you're not going to be able to see the grind and the hustle of me trying to find resources and placing resources and removing items and adding items and going into my storage in my house. You're not going to see any of that, but just know that this was a solid like 8 to 10 hours of gameplay to do all this. So what you're seeing is the I guess you want to say the flash. You're not seeing the whole struggle, you're seeing a little bit of the struggle. And it's all a struggle, but you're not seeing all of it. All right, so here we are working on making a diagonal separation in the landmass because I want to put my very first diagonal bridge up. I love the diagonal bridges. When I go on my island tours, I get so happy when I see a diagonal bridge. And you know, for the longest I didn't even know that was a thing until I visited somebody and I was like, wait, what? Like, what? Look at that. That looks so much better than left and right or up and down. Diagonal is the way to go. So I'm going to put in my first diagonal bridge. And if you don't know how to do it, as you can see, you just kind of place your spots right there diagonally. And what people don't understand is that once you start filling that in with water, you'll start to realize how much space you actually need to place that bridge. And it's going to be a very, very wide amount of space. And you can see it right here. Now I'm just shoveling in between the divots that I put in to connect it all. And it's pretty simple, actually. It's not much to it. You know, if I can do it, anybody can do it. So play around with the diagonal bridge, see if you can get one. Don't know about you, but I absolutely love how they look. And you can kind of see how this whole jungle is kind of starting to take form as far as the base structure of everything with the landscaping and the terraforming. So here we're going to hop off to the other side to make it wider on the other side, because I would like to have a little bit more space off to the right side leading up into Simon's area. I don't want the water to be too close to where we're going to put his ramp to get up to his house. So that's why I decided to take it a little bit more over the left side. So right there, we're not even wide enough, as you can see, to put the bridge. So got to widen it up a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. Create some space. Create some space. The beautiful struggle of trial and error. I'm like, oh, I just messed up my beautiful diagonal river by experimenting, or maybe even a misinput, but we get it together. Oh man, I don't see how people make those amazing islands that take, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000, over 1,000 hours, and they can sit here and do this grind for so long. It is mind-numbing to me, because I can tell you this whole project was extremely frustrating at times. Extremely frustrating at times, where I just want to throw the controller. So here we go. We're gonna widen it up off the right side some more. We really got to find the balance, because it's gonna take away space from either side. So you got to really find a balance of how much space do you want on each side, depending on what you want to put there. So I didn't like that way. I thought it was a little bit too far left, but this one hit just right. Because when you cross the bridge, I want it to be an easy lead in up to the ramp that we're going to put up. The other way was a little bit far off, where we'd have to make a trail that kind of goes like a northeast heading up to the ramp, but this kind of leads you straight to the ramp. So this was a winner. And here we are, just trying to bring it all together with the terraforming, with the bridge, trying to figure out how we want these two land masses. Do we want it to connect anywhere, or do we want to really keep it separated? And the only way you can get across is via the bridge, or maybe a really long hop. And I really like the look of the separation, kind of creating two different islands, separated by only a stream, and you got to cross that bridge to get to it. All right, so here is where we are going to put our land bridge that I was telling you guys about. And like I said, you wouldn't even know. You're going to put that water there, you can't even cross. So we're gonna go hit up our custom paths here and drop them on the ground. Bada bang, bada boom. You gotta love Google, man. You can find some awesome custom path designs. Awesome custom path designs. So we got a little mini log bridge there. Not a long one. After I put it all together, I was like, oh, you know what? I probably should have made this longer, but you know what? It's just right. It's just right. We don't want the boy Simon having to walk a long distance across the bridge just to get to his house. I mean, he's a monkey. He should be able to hop on that bamboo tree and hop up on a cliff, but I guess I got some lazy monkeys. I don't know. So I did want that waterfall to kind of create a stream that connects to the river. I like when all the bodies of water are connecting and creating a nice aquatic system with a nice flow. I love that look. Why should we have to segregate all the bodies of water? They all got to connect somewhere, somehow. All right, so we're just dropping those bushes somewhere and then completely decimating our plaza area, because I come to the conclusion is like, hey, these iron fences cannot stay here. They do not match the aesthetic that we are looking for. So we're gonna have to take it down, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do with the resident service plaza area later. But priority number one is the jungle. So those iron fences have to go, and we're probably going to come up with another idea. I don't want to get ahead of myself of what we're going to do with that area and how we're going to hide it from the rest of the jungle. It's going to be a great adventure moving forward with this project. I can tell you guys that. And if you remember from the previous episode, I wasn't too happy about how I can just see everything else that's not part of the jungle. So, you know, at this point I start thinking I got to develop a plan to really make this jungle feel secluded and private and cozy and separated from everything else. Because when you start looking at other areas that don't have the same core, the same look, it kind of takes away from the jungle. So at this point I'm kind of brainstorming, and with time I eventually figure it out, but you guys will see that later on, what we actually end up doing. So here is the, if you want to call it a sunken waterfall, it's a very shitty sunken waterfall, for lack of better words. So throughout this project, I was tinkering with it in different ways to kind of make it look better. So I decided, hey, why not put some spike bridges there? And you know what? I was like, you know what? Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. Just having that not spike bridge, spike fence, and that just looks a little bit better than just a bush there. You know what I mean? Okay, so the reason why I took that waterfall off is because it just didn't look as good. It was too much for no reason. And side waterfalls are just not as good as face forward waterfalls, and this is just a fact. This is just a fact. No question about it. So I figured making it smaller would be the way to go, and getting rid of that extra waterfall. And by getting rid of that extra waterfall off to the side, it gives you more room to play around with creating space on top on the second level. No question about it. So remember I said, hey man, I would really like to have a spike trap down here. And then I thought about it. Well, you could actually use the spiky fence. So screw the water. You know, if you don't make these jumps, you're not going to get in the water. We don't know if there's piranhas there or not, but you will die. You will land on these spikes and you will die. So we just up the ante a little bit, and you better cross these spikes, baby. You better cross these spikes. Hey, I challenge Patty and Blanche to try to cross these spikes any day, multiple times a day. I want to see how many successful attempts you guys can do. Patty's gone, but I would have loved to see her try. You know, she a fat ass cow, you know what I mean? She wasn't gonna make it on the first jump. The first time she tried to jump across at the gap, into the spikes. Hamburgers ready to go, baby. Hamburgers ready to go. So we got to do it on both sides, obviously. So there we go. We got 2 rows of spikes, and then we're gonna put another row of spikes here. And this really hurt me because I hate messing up or destroying aquatic areas with the addition of new ideas. So with that being said, as you can see, we had to cut down on that little path that was created by the waterfall there, but all good because this area does look awesome, no question about it. No question about it. And I set it up so that we can still get some curve action coming off our little crescent waterfall there. And there you go. There you go. I made the jump. I made the jump perfectly. I ain't falling in no spikes, but I challenge any of the villagers I don't like to jump across. This could be like a game show or something. One of those, you know, one of those crazy, wacky shows that they have on ABC, kind of like American Gladiator, or not American Gladiator, but what's that one called? Warrior Ninja or something like that? Ninja Warrior, American Warrior, American Ninja Warrior. I don't know. All right, so here we jump back into our customs and we started plotting some leaves to help it make, you know, make it feel a little bit more natural, make it feel like a rainforest or a jungle. I was just like, man, this just looks so bland. And all the islands that I visit for my tours, they always have the custom pathwork all over the ground. They always have custom designs all over the ground. So I was like, okay, I need a little bit of that. And you know, I'm very new to this, so I'll just start with some leaves and then go from there. But I promise you guys, you will see later on that we will spice this up significantly, than more than just some green small leaves scattered about. But for now, it's when you're working with me, it's a process. And like, I don't know how other people terraform. Like me, I kind of want to, I start with like a centralized focus idea, and then I find myself scatterbrained, and then I'll be like, oh, well, let me go over here. I was like, all right, okay, well, let me go over here and do this, and let me go over here and do this. I don't always stay in one centralized area and just focus on building that up. My mind starts to drift into different areas, and it kind of ends up connecting in the end, and it all works out. That's just how I process things. Well, with this game anyway, it's just how I process it. Obviously, you can see I'm just hopping back and forth. And sometimes it depends on what items you have available to you at the time. Like if I saw I had this rock here and I was like, well, you know, I need to do something with this rock. Okay, well, this area looks plain right here. We can hop into this crescent waterfall and just boom, drop this natural rock there and call it a day. And it looks great. No question about it. It looks great. It looks fantastic. One thing you learn about me is that I will never, like, I understand. I was like, oh, well, no, of course you can't put a waterfall here, put a waterfall there. And I'll still try to force it. You'll see me just keep swinging the shovel like, you are gonna let me put this waterfall right here, Nintendo. Stop playing games with me. Stop. So one thing I wanted to do is definitely put a tree up here because the area feels very wide open. Jungles are not wide open, generally speaking. They have trees everywhere, tall trees, different types of trees to make it feel very, what's the word I want to use? I don't know the word I want to use, but it kind of folds everything in and then turns it into a jungle by blocking out everything on the outside with the use of tall trees and scattered trees. I mean, think about it. You know how much sunlight actually gets down onto the rainforest floor in the Amazon? Not very much sunlight ever gets down there. That is just the truth. You got to be up above them trees to get to see that sunlight a lot of the time. So if you want the jungle, you got to have a lot of trees. You got to have a lot of trees. And the trees really are the biggest thing that creates the jungle atmosphere. Like right now, it doesn't feel like a jungle. It feels like a barren land, a savanna or something, but a Sahara desert or something. It's just deserted. But once you start putting those trees in one by one by one by one, you will see how the entire core changes. The entire mood is going to change. And you got to have a lot of flowers with the jungle core. You got to have a lot of flowers. So we got this bamboo tree here, and we're going to cover it with flowers. And the reason I chose the bamboo tree up here, because it's long in stature, but also because it's thin in stature, it doesn't block a lot of the base level below us and behind us once we start setting that up, like some of the other trees will with their wide leaf patterns. All right, so over here we're hopping over to our big, humongous fruit orchard over here. So we decided, okay, we want to probably put some of these type of trees. I'm not a big fan of these type of trees for the jungle core, but they could be useful considering that they have different colors of fruit hanging off of them. And also during this time of the season, the trees are, get some orange and some red colors on the leaves. So it can add a nice color dynamic to the jungle. All right, this structure right here, I decided, no, I can't do anything with that. Why is that here? We should just put a tree back here. It was a cool design, but I couldn't do nothing with it. And it was just taking up space. Couldn't do nothing with it. So the best thing I figured is, all right, put a tree. That wasn't the tree I wanted. I wanted the red tree here. That wasn't the tree I wanted. I wanted the red tree here. Let's try again. This has got to be the red tree. No, that's not the red tree. All right, I give up. I'm done. I'm done. All right, we'll try one more. Nope, not the red tree. Now I'm done. The red tree is in there. It ended up being a pear tree, I think. But it's just crazy. It's like I took every tree except the one. I have 2 pear trees. There was one of them that was the red one. There was one of them. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like the look of the these are called oak trees. I think these are oak trees. I don't like the look of the oak trees for the jungle. Not a big fan. So you'll see me swap most of them out later on as they start to agitate me more and more and more as the building process continues. All right, so for the top here, we definitely needed to add something to the very top of the waterfall, the very top of the mountain. So we start adding some more flowers here and there, to help bring it all together with the amazing terraforming that we have already done up here. And then this side, the cliff hanging over, we definitely need to put some stuff there too. The thing about the jungle is very, very compact. There's a lot of stuff everywhere you go. You're walking through. I don't know if anybody's ever walked through a jungle, but there's trees, there's vines, there's flowers, there's wildlife, there's bushes, there's everything. There's not a whole lot of space just to run around without any type of obstruction. So we want to kind of keep that in mind when we're building. So you're going to find that when this is all done, there's not going to be a lot of a free roaming space. Everything's going to be occupied, and it's going to look beautiful. Bright colors popping everywhere, and it's going to be something special. And we will get there, but this is the process, baby. This is the process. All right, so this part was probably one of the biggest struggles I had with the jungle, is figuring out what exactly do I want to do with the area before the bridge and the area after the bridge, that immediate area. Should we set a path of flowers up on each side to kind of guide the player into the bridge, or not? So we are actually going to be wrapping this episode up soon. So as always, if you're enjoying the content and having a great time here on Planet Boot, feel free to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, stay updated, and be a part of the experience. Until next time, be easy.